like to focus to begin with on the donations that our class will make to McGill Medicine, and Al Pearson is here to give us a little bit of his understanding and his precisions with regard to that. So, Al, would you like to take over?
Yeah. Well, classmates, we are fortunate that we're still here and able to talk to each other. And if we think back, what a wonderful time it was when we learned how to be doctors, and we've all had stories and so forth that we still enjoy. We also appreciate that without McGill, we wouldn't be here, and we would not have enjoyed the economic that we have enjoyed. Also, I'm sure everybody is well aware of the fixed income issue. So, but we need to give back, because many of us would not have finished school if the school hadn't helped us. And so the dean needs to be in a position where he can help out those in need. And it's the dean who knows the specifics. And he should be untethered by a lot of committees. So we're proposing is that they have a fund which actually exists where it's called the Medicine's Greatest Needs, and it's basically controlled by the dean. And so I would say this is the fund, and the committee has agreed that we, the class of 62, should put our donation for. You can do it as a lump sum, or you can do it so much a month where you agree to pay 50 or 100 bucks a month, for example, and put it on a credit card. It's automatically deducted. Our goal is $1,000 a piece, but don't feel obliged to stop there. But this, I think, is important if we're going to carry on the traditions.
Hi, I'm excited to meet you all this October, and I'm looking forward to welcoming you back to campus. I wanted to give you a few other options in which you can make your donation as well. So I understand many people are on a fixed income, and you can delay your giving temporarily by leaving something in your will. There's also other options like giving a charitable gift annuity or an IRA rollover if you're in the States. Essentially, there's many different ways we can discuss it, and you can do that by contacting me directly.
No, go ahead. I think Alec Ramsey would like to say a word or two now.
Yes, just to emphasize the point that the needs of students are forever important in our minds, and we are aware of specific instances, both in our own class and in other classes, where the intervention of the dean has been really instrumental in them staying in medical school. So that is something to really keep in mind, particularly, and I'm sure all of you are aware that the needs of university students and particularly medical students these days in terms of the stresses involved in their education are enormous. And there will be in the future increasing need for the kind of psychological support which I'm aware of because I see a lot of those students.
all, I want to thank, on behalf of our class team, made up of Dr. Pearson, Alec Ramsey, and myself, Jim Sullivan, and together with Cynthia Liu and Manly Q of the University Advancement Office, to welcome you all, class of 62, Med 62, to our 55th homecoming reunion. Who would have thought it? Nice to have you all here tonight after 55 years. Time flies. All right, you're supposed to applaud here, but it's okay. It's written down. So there are 16 returnees who are gracing us tonight out of a class which I think varied between 100 and 115, but I have here 102, and 12 guests for a total of 28, and we're so happy to have you all here tonight. As you recall, we sent a questionnaire out earlier, and 18 responded, and the rest did not. However, 18 of our class also contributed to our donation demand or wish, which has reached apparently, I'm told, the grand total of $51,000, which was over and above. It's actually 129% more than what we thought we would get. So I think some applause is in order. Physical disability and other reasons were written about why others weren't able to come to our meeting tonight. Our deceased members are now total 35, and without and a third of our class. And I will ask you all to stand for a second or 2 or 3 seconds to observe a moment of silence as I read out the name of the names. Thank you.
Alan Tennant House and my wife Susie. We live in Toronto. We're totally retired, and I mean totally retired. We do nothing.
I'm Bob Kiselewski. This is my wife Barbara. We recently moved to Vancouver, okay, where I now have 3 legs to get around. And we don't do anything either, buddy.
I'm Alec Ramsey, and my wife Maria is right over here, and I'm still working. It seems that psychiatrists tend to carry on longer than others, as long as they can still recognize their patients. So we're very pleased to be here tonight.
I'm Bob Patton, and I spent most of my career at St. Michael's Hospital. I've retired completely, and my wife unfortunately couldn't come because of other family considerations, but she's still alive and doing very well. And I'm totally doing nothing again.
I'm Ian Turnbull. I retired in September of 1996. This is the first reunion that my wife hasn't attended, but she would if she could. And good to see so many people here. we're doing the math correctly, Jim, 16 of 70 living classmates are
16
here?
of 70.
And maybe we'll have more for the 60th.
Dean Uphoff, my wife, and forwarders in the Matt OR. We live in West Hartford, Connecticut. We have 2 daughters, 4 grandchildren, 2 boys, 2 girls. I'm still working.
And your patients don't.
After I survived first year anatomy course, which I equate to climbing Mount Everest, I graduated with you all and moved back to Maine, where I met and married my dear wife here. And my greatest accomplishment in recent years was, and recent months, was joining the United Flying Octogenarians. You have to be piloting after your 80th birthday. And,
You look like a token female right now. I still work a day and a half a week because I have to pay for my travels. We know.
So, and I'm Jim Sullivan. I've enjoyed looking after the group for a number of years now, and very pleased to know that 16 of us have shown up. And my wife is Janice. She's at the other end, and there she is, and married like others, maybe 54 years. And very pleased to look forward to 2022 for our 60th, and we hope we're here. And I hope we have more than we have today, but chances are we probably won't.